Awesome. Good morning. It is December 7th, and Greg Larsen and myself, Dr. Larsen, Sarah Larsen, Sarah, are here to really share with you all about angels, the physics of angels, the science of angels. Are angels real? And then how to protect yourself from evil. And it's a really interesting, uh, um, it's very interesting to be sharing this right now. And for all of the elements, the reason that I'm doing this is Greg and I are going to Egypt December 26th to January 9th, and we are programming, we are intending, we are bringing love, and we want to bring as many people on the journey with us in the energy form, energetically, with their prayers, with what they want to happen. We also want the energy of love thy neighbor as thyself, and love thyself as as you love your neighbor. We want that to be adopted by all community organizations and all religious and any organization to really advocate and embody that as being a requirement or a ideal, or the way an organization recommends we be with each other, so that we really resonate with the highest frequency. Love thy neighbor as thyself. Right now, Charlie Pacello is still in the Lebanon area. He met with the Pope. Charlie Pacello is a longtime client, a longtime friend. The mission statement of the Roman Catholic Church that's taking in Syrian refugees has been rewritten to include post-traumatic stress disorder, post-traumatic soul disorder. When Charlie, and this is something Charlie said right before he got onto the airplane, he said, how does someone on Skid Row get to being a few years later meeting with the Pope? And Charlie's worked with me for many years. We developed the post-traumatic stress disorder uh, um, guidance system together, based on his story, based on his work. We all have superpowers, amazing possibilities within us. Charlie Pacello is living those now, and the work that he's here to do, the mission statements of the Roman Catholic Church, meeting the Pope, all of that being incorporated now into those mission statements, moving forward. All of what we're here to do, what you're here to do, gets enhanced the more that you organize yourself and become more skilled in every area of your life that comes up. And so yesterday on a wonderful interview, someone in the comments, there was I'm going to just call him young man, Joshua T. Bergen. He is a brand marketing person, reached out to me on Facebook, really amazing, resonant human being, and asked if it was possible to do an interview. And for me, I love being able to share this story, this journey, and the questions he asked, I gave very thorough answers. And some of the comments down below, and the last question that he asked me, had to do with evil. What is evil? If you're connecting and seeing things on the other side or between the thin veil, how do you tell me about evil? Aren't you worried about evil? Some sort of question like that. It's a great interview. I hope you'll go see it. It's on Facebook. He does something at 9 o'clock almost every morning. Greg and I are super committed to bringing as many people energetically, and we can only take 18 people physically with us to Egypt. And now we have sponsors that have come on, Life Alchemy, life alignment vortex cards. This is beautiful. The rainbow vortex card, the energy of this love, this science is coming with us. Don Estes' technology is coming with us. We've got yoga mats. I put the book behind us. I'm sharing all of this because I want you to know who is supporting this peace work. Jenna Davis with Yoga Mass. She's coming, and what we're doing, what we're all collectively doing, whether we're on this Zoom or whether we're out there functioning, what you are doing moment to moment is broadcasting through your heart an energy field. And this energy field is really extraordinary for being able to generate for you exactly what it is that you're here to do. When you're more skillful in generating it, when you're more skillful at sharing, I'm trying to start the slideshow, which is funny. Let's see, usually I love Greg helping me with this in the beginning because I go into my right brain. Let's see if it's view. It says, I've slider, shorter, zoom, arrange all, home, insert, design. I know there's a begin PowerPoint slideshow. I think that's it. That way I can show you the videos slideshow from the beginning. Here we go. Yes, it excites me when I learn a new skill, and I'm constantly growing, expanding, learning so that I can share with those as much as skillfully from those that have already done it. So today's topic really is to help us embody the confusion that there seems to be, to clear that up, clear guidance, to be able to hear from your angels yourself. That's number one. We want you to be able to connect with them yourself. Number two, how to protect yourself from evil. And what does that even mean? What does angels mean? What does evil mean? And then to give you some tools and resources for really helping you accomplish what you're here to accomplish. No one else can do what you're here to do. Everything in nature is extraordinary. And so I love the work of Physics of Angels. It's exploring the realm where science and spirit meet. It's a book by Matthew Fox and Rupert Sheldrake, and it's published by Monkfish. I believe that's it. Monkfish Book is the publishing. It's the information that I have is from a near-death experience. Before I had language and energy around this, even as a child, I was seeing and communicating with angels. Later on in a near-death experience, I was educated, multiple near-death experiences, educated from the inside out in that other space of what angels are, and to really understand quote unquote evil. And then my life's work, becoming a doctor, working with non-government organizations, with schools, with volunteer work in different areas as a doctor, and then later on becoming a mom and diving deeply into the intuitive work, into sharing with others what their beloved ones from the other side. When the beloved comes and says, hey, I want to communicate with this person, I've been able to communicate messages. And that all is connected to, do angels exist? It's all connected to, and very rapidly sharing, quote unquote, what's evil, and then how to access that. So let's start with, what is an angel? What do they do? First, angels are powerful. When an angel appears in any scripture or any references, the first words that go along with it, whether it's the Vedas, whether it's Chinese philosophy, religion, whether it's the Essenes, all of it, going into the Bible, going into current day, those that are channeling angels and writing from their perspectives, A Course in Miracles, that sort of scenario, all of them really say, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Angels are awesome. The poet Rauch says that every angel is terrifying to some degree, because until we become used to listening and understanding things from our whole heart. Angels are essentially understanding beings. They think deeply, and they are experts at intuition and can assist our intuition. Angels are also friends to prophets, and today, more than ever, we need those that can speak on behalf of creating the best world. Prophets, a gaining, expanding, unafraid world. So angels are special friends to prophets, and we need prophets today in every profession, in every role of citizenship, in every generation. Angels have very strong wills and have serious cosmic duties to perform relating to the wisdom and knowledge that they carry. One of these tasks is praise. And we're going to get into a lot of energy around praise and the teachings that have to go with this. I want to bring it back to science, and to bring it back to, there was a point in our collective human history that we went from being actively looking towards the unseen world, the angels, for guidance. We separated very much. I'm going to stand up just for a second. I've got just some sheets here, some notes here that I want to share. Scientists, and this is again from Exploring the Realms, where science and spirit meets. Scientists and theologists would discuss angels in the 21st century. Both disciplines at the end of the modern era appeared equally embarrassed by this subject. For theologians, it became embarrassment for 300 years to even mention angels. And then it goes on, the scientific revolution in the 17th century, the universe was mechanized, and the same time the heavens were secularized. And it's important to understand, we separated our senses. We separated what was possible. As we said, this is the area of science, this is the area of spirituality, and today science is leading us back to understanding what the unseen world is, understanding these blips, these very skilled, organized energy fields that are around us are being documented. And religion is moving and understanding the mechanism through which source, oneness, love, angels work. So science is moving closer to being able to identify how it is that we see, some see and some don't see the angelic realm. And at the same time, so that's where science is moving, and religion is moving towards science, which is to say, wow, this is what is meant by this in scripture. This is what is meant by these truths that have, or these assumptions written in repetitively over and over again. When they're shared, this is what that particular phrase means. And so something like you can move a mountain with the faith of a mustard seed. Well, we're going to talk about that in when we go into the section today about hysterical strength. Again, this is about angels, everything to do with angels. Do angels exist? How to protect yourself from evil. And then we're going to dive in a little bit further. If you're watching the screen or the replay, and to make it really easy on us, we are loading everything onto YouTube. After it's done, if you want to see any of the previous Zooms, please log into Dr. Sarah Larsen YouTube channel, subscribe, and you'll be able to see all of the Zooms that we're doing before we get to Egypt. All of the broadcasts, we're doing a broadcast, whether it's our own here on Zoom, whether it's on someone else's network, and all of those will be shared in the newsletter, so you can catch what we're taking to Egypt and participate and send us what you want us to bring of your request to Egypt. So really specifically, the more you say, this is what I hope will happen, please bring this image, idea, vision of mine with you to Egypt, to these temple spaces, these places that we could not build today, these carvings, these symbols that we get to see there that initiate and activate things in us. The angelic realm and the mechanistic world view are really leading us to be able to, for those that in all earnest are saying, what are the most important questions one can ask oneself in life? What is it? What are those questions? This is Einstein pondered that. Is the universe a friendly place or not? And it's the same question that you see over and over again when angels are referred to in any literature. And Native Americans call them spirits. There are different names in jinn. Jinn is the name sort of in Sanskrit. It's the root word of the word genie. It's the root word of genius, jinn. All of it makes reference to a knowing on our planet of when we believed and connected with and felt angel presence a lot more than we do now. And those that communicate and connect with angels, a lot of them are called prophets. Mother Mary, before baby Jesus was, before she felt that or knew that was happening, she was visited by angels. And I'm going to start a video for us that is very scientific in nature, and I'm going to tie it all back to angels and how particulate matter and how important it is that, one, we question everything, ask great questions, and connect. So for something to be true, it's got to be true all the way through history, all the way through. It cannot be divided. It's an absolute truth, and it has to be true for all humans, all beings, all elements. And I will dive back into that after we watch this, which is the next. This is a wonderful, and I'll tell you about it afterwards, after you hear this.
Astounding fact you can share with us about the universe? The most astounding fact is the knowledge that the atoms that comprise life on Earth, the atoms that make up the human body, are traceable to the crucibles that cooked light elements into heavy elements in their core under extreme temperatures and pressures. These stars, the high mass ones among them, went unstable in their later years. They collapsed and then exploded, scattering their enriched guts across the galaxy. Guts made of carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, and all the fundamental ingredients of life itself. These ingredients become part of gas clouds that condense, collapse, form the next generation of solar systems.
Oh, whoops, I didn't mean to do that. I was trying to, whoops, let's see if we can go back a little bit. I'm sorry, I was trying to do something else, and we're going to have to start it from the beginning. I touched something. So, whoops.
What is the most astounding fact you can share with us about the universe? The most astounding fact is the knowledge that the atoms that comprise life on Earth, the atoms that make up the human body, are traceable to the crucibles that cooked light elements into heavy elements in their core under extreme temperatures and pressures. These stars, the high mass ones among them, went unstable in their later years. They collapsed and then exploded, scattering their enriched guts across the galaxy. Guts made of carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, and all the fundamental ingredients of life itself. These ingredients become part of gas clouds that condense, collapse, form the next generation of solar systems, stars with orbiting planets. And those planets now have the ingredients for life itself. So that when I look up at the night sky, and I know that, yes, we are part of this universe, we are in this universe, but perhaps more important than both of those facts is that the universe is in us. When I reflect on that fact, I look up. Many people feel small because they're small and the universe is big, but I feel big because my atoms came from those stars.
Ah, me gusta este hombre. Es un scientist famoso que está.
Oh gosh, I'm gonna mute some of us. I'm so glad that you're here. We were able to see that. The part that I really want to stick with you and to hold you so strongly in your elements inside yourself is what is coursing through your veins, your blood, your bones. Everything that you're made of was forged light years ago, light years away, and everything started with these elements. Everything known. There is hydrogen, and there's so much that I could tell you, but 75% of the visible universe is hydrogen, a colorless gas in spaces, and the vast quantities interact with starlight. Like, to really understand starlight, to create spectacular sights such as the Eagle Nebula seen by the Hubble telescope. That's what's within you. H2O. You're at points 80-90% water. Sometimes when you're dehydrated, 65-60% water. That's 2 parts hydrogen, 1 part oxygen. What makes you up? The iron that was forged in your body, this beautiful iron was forged, carries elements, hemoglobin, delivers oxygen, formulated so far, such a distant time ago, and it's inside you. And the deeper we go within ourselves, the deeper we understand this for ourselves, the more we're able to understand what the ancient ones knew, what the wise ones that built all the temples, all the shamans in the different cultures. The more we understand and the more we allow that everything comes back to this, and this being so simple, source, we can describe it in language. Source, 72 names for source, 108 names for source, the way that it began in the beginning to where it is now, all of it is the elements organized themselves skillfully. We too are those elements. Angels in particular are energies, are forces around us that allow us to be able to create and generate within ourselves a level of strength, a level of possibility. And I'm describing it, I took from Wikipedia the words hysterical strength. Hysterical strength is a display of extreme strength by humans, but beyond what is believed to be normal, usually occurring when people are in life and death situations. Common examples include parents lifting cars to rescue their children. The extra strength is commonly attributed to an increased adrenaline production through supporting evidence. That all of this we find over and over again, these amazing stories. When I went to my grandfather's funeral in Atlanta, and I was sharing with my aunt what I experienced in Sicily, all of the different angels, how I felt and communicated with my grandfather, her father. She said, I shared pictures of angels. She had never told anyone, not even her husband. My aunt said, I see angels. I saw an angel by the side of the road, started describing what she sees. And at some point, we're going to have more and more cameras and lenses that can capture those energies and those pictures and those images. If you're watching the screen or watching the replay, you can watch this later, the illumined ones, All Things Angels and More, is a documentary that I'm part of. It has a lot of people telling their own stories of connecting with angels, what angels mean. It's a documentary. On the screen, if you're seeing this, this is an image of an angel that I took in Sicily. I was with the tour group, Connie Costa's group that goes and travels to Egypt. To Sicily. This beautiful group that she takes to Sicily every year on these beautiful journeys. I was sitting next to Cheryl. We were in traffic. I took a picture and Cheryl said, "Why did you take a picture?" Then I showed her what the camera screen showed and she's like, "Is that an angel?" And I'm like, "Yes, there are legions of them coming." This angel knew I could see it. And on the screen is this beautiful image, wings, a face, a body, what looks like very dense energy, light energy, sharing that there are these beings that when we allow ourselves to pray, intend, praise, or ask for praise, ask for help, they show up. And biblical references, scientific, We now have neuroscientists as well that have near-death experiences that talk about these energies, talk about meeting angels when they came back to our thoughts, our hearts, our emotions, our DNA, our pineal gland, our neuronal matter is only as available as we are to it. If we are stressed, if we're in areas of lower blood flow from our heart to regions of our brain, we cut off possibilities within us to see and connect with the angelic realm. And so many of the scientists that have had extreme near-death experiences or a visitation, something to that effect, dive in to learn about this, to learn about near-death experiences, to learn about angels. And oh, this is, so Greg and I, last night driving, it's really amazing that we have this. And this is something that happens on our trips and on our journeys. We went to a friend's gathering, and on the way home, and we were singing of angels. This is Samuel J. Notes at a place in Los Angeles. Amazing singer, amazing angelic voice. And I, in the last few Zooms, have said, ask for a sign from the universe. Greg and I, late at night, stuck in traffic, look over and I say, baby, there's the consecration of St. Ambrose church right next to us on Fairfax. We're like literally stopped there. And I'm like, that is so interesting. I look it up and it happens to be his feast day. December 7th happens to be his feast day. This is a road in Los Angeles that we happen to go to on maybe once or twice a year. First time we're ever stopped, first time we ever noticed this. This is what happened in Sicily. This is what happens in Egypt. It's, for me, a sign for the universe, from the universe, that it's paying attention to my intention. The whole universe is within me, and here is the evidence of it on the outside. When we looked up St. Ambrose, December 7th is the feast day of St. Ambrose. December 8th is the a beautiful, I forget exactly how they say it within, but it's very special to Mother Mary. December 8th, which is tomorrow, but her feast day is in September. December 8th is thought to be the day that she was conceived, and then I think birthed on September 8th. I have to remember how that plays out, but tomorrow is very important to her. And this energy that the universe, all of the elements, all of them are organizing so that we can have more of ourself available in order to communicate with elements. Hydrogen, the way that we can't see it unless it's under a microscope, and then we can see the structure and what it looks like. But all together, all of these elements are making up and organizing all of the things around us. My voice speaking is pushing and moving air and moving components. Everything that you're doing is pushing and moving energy. And when you fully understand, there are elements that not everyone yet sees that are having an effect. But here, based on what we're allowing them to have an effect on, we know our DNA now reacts to the emotions and energies around us. We know that the universe, these nebulas, these gas regions, look just like the neuronal matter, the neurons, the brain matter, the gray matter in our brains. all the way out there, light years, a billion like miles away within our body. And we know that we can have more neuronal connections than there is particulate matter in the universe. This again has been worked out by our scientists, by our cosmologists. They're working this out, and because we're able to interact and connect with all of these intelligences, we're now able to remember what has been written in and demonstrated with symbols and in different locations. Now, this is, if you're looking at this image, it is an image that you see in Luxor Temple. It's a beautiful image of what was first called the Trinity back then, 7,000, 3,000 years ago. There was a Trinity. Buddhist culture, Chinese, the traditions there, and this is so important to fully understand, they divided. So these ancient teachings, the Buddhist, the ancient Egyptians, the much of the Essenes, and the divided beings into three categories. And this is important to understand: three Buddhas, or the Holy Trinity, available within all of us. The one is enlightened. The one in the center is fully enlightened. The second one is, and the enlightened one, Source, God, the creative energy, gave us everything, held nothing back. And on either side of that being, this enlightened being that has everything, all possibilities, on one side is a feminine natured energy that nurtures, that gives. There are many different names for this in the Buddhist tradition, many different names in the Egyptian, many different in many texts, but it is nurturing, it is loving, it gives of itself, it praises, it's fully involved in the creation. This Trinity, this aspect of Trinity. So the first one, the enlightened being; the second one, the nurturer. Quite often it is associated with Mother Mary. Quite often it's associated with Kuan Yin. Quite often it is the energy of the perfected mother, giver, nurturer. On the other side of the enlightened being, so first there's the enlightened being, then there is the one that nurtures, the one that loves, the one that is perfect in showing the nurturing aspects of being able to give. On the other end of that is the person, is a Buddha, is this being that is the last one to enter the realm of enlightenment. It's the last one. It makes sure that everyone else has achieved the entry into the enlightened stage. It is, we're all in this together. All of the ancient teachings talked about the oneness, and that we ourselves can embody, allow Source, the Holy Trinity, to always be with us, to work through us, and the enlightened being available, the one that nurtures available, and then the one that really visits to make sure that every aspect of you enters this enlightened, the oneness, all of us together. So it's sort of like the one at the maximum front of the line, the cutting edge, the one that is gathering resources for you. And that second one being the angelic realm of when you ask for it, when you begin praising it, when you give gratitude for it, when you're in this amazing energy of everything can be loved, everything can be praised, everything can move to an enlightened state, everything can have more of what it is actually meant to be available. So the elements, hydrogen, we've got helium, lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, all of these elements, when they are the purest version of themselves. And it's fun to bring it back to science. It's fun to bring it back to these were once thought to be invisible. We can, and there are some on here that we know exist, but we have not yet seen and defined out. We've got the equation for it. And the ancient ones, the ones that had access to regions of their senses and their brain, their heart, these different parts of their body could communicate and know there is this trinity of energy that's available for every being, every element. And on a more scientific talk, I'm happy to break these elements down. It just, it requires a little bit more prep on my part, and it would take a lot longer to explain it in those terms. But in the context of angels, there is within us something connected to the enlightened one. There is something within us that's connected to this perfect nurturing love. And then there is this aspect of us that moves all of it together towards enlightenment, towards, let me define out what enlightenment means: skillful, organized, able to give to all, purified in its form, to be utilized to hold things together skillfully, and able to bring lighter and lighter more resources to it through it. There are even better definitions that I could go into, but the Buddha that brings enlightenment has both masculine, feminine. The Buddha that has the nurturing Mother Mary, Kuan Yin energy is nurturing, loving, perfected love aspect. Then the other part, the third part, and I believe this is where, and I know this, the energy of the angel of the devil, and I'm putting that in quotes, Dionysus, the energy of drunkenness, the energy of addiction, the energy of lower vibrations. When those lower vibrations, those energies, the last one to enter heaven or enlightenment would be, quote unquote, the devil. That energy is there in order to move you towards the nurturer, move you towards the enlightenment that exists as an energy so that you can fully reflect on and become aware of what you want that's better. The definition of what's evil, the definition of what is something that cannot be praised. So this third Buddha, the last one to enter heaven, the last one to enter enlightenment, the one that is at the end, does it, it's the weirdest reflection to say this, out of love for you, so that you, the being that's in the middle of these three trinities, you, that being, can move towards enlightenment. It's the black and the white. It's the ability to differentiate the difference. And so what cannot be praised is quote unquote, or what cannot praise is quote unquote evil. And in movies like The Exorcist, where a priest comes in and casts out of the person demonic forces, and you're able to see in that person that's possessed by the demonic forces a hysterical strength. That's what this energy of the third, and it's not part of the Buddhas or the master, it's the lowest of the lowest energy within that, in order to move it towards enlightenment. People of higher power, of higher faith, of higher energy levels came in the movie The Exorcist and surrounded the girl. The Exorcist was based on a true story. They brought love. They brought praise for the girl. They brought praise for nurturing. They brought praise for enlightenment. They brought light. They brought love. And anything that wasn't that higher frequency had to leave that element. And it's so beautiful and so important for us to fully recognize that in Einstein's words, what is the most important question you can ask yourself in this life? His answer to that is: the universe a friendly place or not? Are these elements that were forged, are they for us? Are they here to help us? And then the other part of that is energy is never created nor destroyed. It's just more organized. When these elements are not within your body, they're not working or capable to do the same things that they're capable to do when they're in alignment within your body, when they're in the angelic realm, in the unseen world. These elements still have an effect on us. We're breathing in hydrogen, oxygen, we're breathing in nitrogen, we're filtering that through, we're allowing parts of our brain to become available. And what we are part of, and I'm going to show this in a minute, I'm going to show you this video and then I'm going to connect all of this back. I am so glad that you guys are here. I just want to introduce myself again. My name's Dr. Sarah Larsen. I do this because I believe we're one. If there is any energy or information or love or teaching that I can make to contribute to your life, I'm going to hopefully find great ways to be able to do that. And everything that I do, I try and bring it back to science, as well as to my understanding of the near-death experiences of connecting to a loving God, to a loving source, a loving oneness. And I've gone through so many beautiful and extreme situations in my life. I've been gifted so many tools, and I want to make that, and I know they're available for each one of us when we go deep within ourselves. And so this next video, I'm going to speak it as it's playing. Again, the replay will really do add wonders. And when you do see this, please share this, please add comments to it, so that this talk came from an interview that I gave, maybe it was yesterday. I've been racing. We live a lifetime almost in a day. So yesterday I did an interview, and one of the questions that came up was, what's evil? What is evil? And again, we're defining that out. What are angels? What's evil? What are we? And this will help that. So it reads: the old heliocentric model of our solar system, planets rotating around the sun. And so we're watching our planet. It's not only boring, but it's also incorrect. Our solar system moves through space at 70,000 kilometers per hour. And now if you picture this instead, so there is a vortex. All of the sun is moving through space with comets, and this is on fire. This is fire elements, a drag behind it. There is a creation happening in that fire as it's moving, and the sun is like a comet dragging the planets in its wake. We have organized ourselves to such a degree. Can you say vortex, the earth, the sun, all of these planets to rotate consistently, to move vortex wise, rotate on our earth does three things, and there's a whole lecture that I could teach on that in the way that we're moving around the sun. We have a tilt, we have the way that we move, and as the sun is moving, this comet, this force, we are creating 70,000 miles per hour worth of energy, of new levels of organization, new levels of sound, vibration, that is being and brought to the universe through the earth and what it does vortex wise with the sun. Why is this important? Because rotational motion and vortex motion are two completely different things. Life spirals. Life is vortex, not just rotation. Life is vortex again, not just rotation. And then we're taking a look at the Milky Way and the way that it looks. We're taking a look at our DNA, a look at shells, the way that water moves down through a drain on Earth. The solar system is part of life. Think about that while racing through space. This video is made and produced all together by DJ Sadhu. I'm so grateful that we get to use it and we get to participate in understanding that within us is vortex movement. We are our DNA, our breathing, the water and the movement that's happening in us is having that effect. The way that the electrical components of our heart, the magnetic components, and again, how each of these elements, how it all works together is amazing. What silver does, what gold does, what it does and has an effect, what some of these elements inhibit parts of our brain, some of them activate parts of our of what we're able to create. Ooh, I'm hoping that my husband, who helped me make this PowerPoint, put the PowerPoint in here of the next one that I'm expecting. Let's see. Ooh, we are out of the PowerPoint. So we went through it all the way. I'm going to go back a little bit. I can open up the floor for questions. And there's some, iPad Yogi, Dee, you're on, you're not muted. Can you hear us?
Hello?
Hi.
Oh, I didn't know I was unmuted.
You were unmuted, but I'm so glad you're here. What are you thinking of this?
I'm trying to figure out on the heart, the vibrations of magnetic electricity of the heart. I've been having heart rate, not heart racing. It feels like there's energy near my heart area trying to run up and down. It feels like an engine running, and I don't know what it is, and it just it feels stuck. It won't go up or down, and it's very, very uncomfortable. Could that
Um,
anything do with
say your first name.
it's Doreen?
Doreen, I'm so glad you're here. And Doreen, so the energy of the heart really is, and it's such a beautiful space. The Chinese, and as I'm speaking, I'm tuning into your frequency so I can read that and tell you what's going on. But until I get there, I want to just give points that can really help you and everyone that's listening. The heart holds within it stem cells. If our heart gets broken, we can knock ourselves out of existence. And Carrie Fisher and her mom, and that story, Carrie Fisher passes, and the very next day, her mom passes. That grief, that stopping of the heart is real with and my grandfather and my grandmother told us to the day, they knew the day that they would stop their hearts, that they would no longer transmit that frequency. So that my grandmother and grandfather, what's happening in your body is you are very loving to all of the elements and environment around you. And right now, because there's a lot of vagueness, there's a lot of not defined things in your life, the transmission from your heart, the electrical conduction is not happening to the same degree it was happening before. It's like a weight is sitting on your heart. Is that correct?
Yeah, yes.
And as a doctor, I love for you to go get that checked out and connect. And it feels like your heart's telling me it has been, and they're not finding, meaning over the years, they're not finding anything. And what this has to do with, I would love for you to put some warm and cold things on the skin right above, between your breasts. If you will put cold towels and then hot towels and then cold towels and then hot towels, there is a need for stimulation to happen there. And the vagueness, this is very, very deep. Some of it has to do with going back to Greece and Rome for you. Energetically, there's a lot of energy. What does that mean to you when I say Rome and Greece?
I guess tragedy, or I guess just maybe the loss of someone or something. I don't feel that I'm having any grief or anything like that. My heart is perfectly normal. There's nothing,
There's nothing physical, but you can feel it on the inside.
And the doctor wants to start me on some kind of tranquilizers or something. And I really don't want to do that, but.
So it sounds really funny to say this, but I would love for you to begin writing your life story as if it was a Greek or Roman story. Characters from that age, and I do past life work. And your work in this area has to go back to that time frame for you, and using and this is again Einstein, your imagination, it will help you. You really want this lifetime to be your last lifetime, and you're working a great deal of your energy, the invisible forces of the universe, you're moving through past lives. You've become you trust the universe trusts you. You've done a great exchange with that. Now you're clearing energy around the Greek and the Roman time. If I can make time for you, I will make time for you if you reach out to me, and we can try and get you in on a session or something like that. Next year, I'm only doing group classes. With the exception of a few people doing planetary work. Most of them are going to be group classes, and I have weekly group coaching coming up. But this, Doreen, for you is hot and cold in the physical world. But doing that will help the conduction, the water, the sensation, the world work and the unseen work that you have to do involves writing out Greek Roman stories. Using your imagination, it's going to help you clear some past life trauma energy.
Okay, Dr. Larsen, thank you. You are so right on. I went to the forum in Italy one time, and when I walked in there, the vibrations were so bad, I could not. I had to leave. It was just absolutely terrible. And so you're probably right. It may be from back then that something is still coming up or needs to, but you are totally correct.
So thank you for sharing that, and for each of us listening, that energy, we have to do things in the physical world that will shift what's happening in our body. Physical things shift the physical. Then emotional stuff, energy in motion, and mental stuff. If Doreen uses her emotions and uses her mental energy, imagination, she goes back to the spirit form and takes all of these elements that are here, that circulate through her blood, that circulate through her body. All of that then becomes available in the now moment to be cleared. Everything, it doesn't matter where it comes from, it becomes our responsibility to clear it. Once it comes into our environment, that energy, our connection to all of it, and at some point we will be back just into the spirit form and not in just a physical form. When we're in that spirit form, we will see the totality. And when I had my near-death experiences, the first few so confusing, but what it really helped me begin to gauge and see the parts of my brain that were already seeing the invisible world that other people didn't see yet, the natural world that we're all part of, and then the complete energy world that vibrates, is flowing, is creating a vortex, is moving and changing based on how we're being in the moment. And so when the rulers in Egypt, before they could rule, they had to go through a series of near-death experiences in order to wake up parts of their mind and parts of their heart and parts of their physiology to be able to have more of their senses. The ancient Egyptians, and especially the priests, the rulers, were initiated and taken into those mysteries. We started this video with this Zoom session with a video that showed that all the elements of the universe were forged, and that Neil Legassi, this beautiful physicist, said the universe is within us, all of it within us. What is out there, so is above, is within us, so is below. And to fully understand, if you could hear all of your elements communicating from all time and all space, you would have a different access and communication and skill style, energy movement style with everything around you. Greg and I, after this amazing gathering of beautiful music last night, we're driving home. The elements lined it up so we could see this particular building so that the universe, the angels, the unseen world could communicate to me, to us, hey, we're with you. This is this saint's day that you happen to look over and read his name, look him up, December 7th. I knew to do that. I knew to take a look. I knew, but everything lined up perfectly with traffic, with all of the physical elements to bring that forward. And that's something that is really important to understand. Do angels exist? And when we recognize that they exist, then they're able to work through us so much easier. I wonder if I can get this to play if I'm in the right view set. This is a movie that's coming out tomorrow. I think I need to go here. I need to say normal. Nope, not that one. I get all excited when I learn how to do this because I'm in a different setting. So we're going to go through this and we'll watch just a 3-minute trailer on. This is already available, but it's going to be available on Amazon tomorrow, December 8th.
I wasn't always interested while going through a dark period. She said she had angel messages to deliver. I received her messages. She became my mentor. I got to know more about angels and their desire to take on a more active role in my life. 3 years later, I went on a journey to visit with others who acknowledge or encounters with the angelic realm. We discuss all things angels.
When I first wanted to talk to people about angels, I was kind of careful, but I would ask an angel.
One day I was trying to get a better way to understand this whole relationship with angels. So I asked them, why did you pick me to talk to? In the early days, when I was working with angels, they literally said to me, what do you know about angels?
The heavenly angels are to be proud. Why should we ask them and make sure that we are safe? Whatever we do, they keep the record of everything.
What I've realized through this work of mediumship, that angels are not only real, they are around us everywhere we are. They've been with you since the very, very, very first time you were here on earth. And they've been with you every single day.
I'm talking to like angels. I have voices in my head, and I think we're in a time now where you can do all of that stuff and it's not crazy.
Sometimes it takes a while for the angel to make itself known to you, not because they can't or won't, but it's often about our ability to receive them.
And a lot of us would love to be able to have any kind of access to angels. So how do you do that?
When you very first start talking to your angels, you feel like, hi, are you there? The older we get, the more judgmental we get, the more cynical we get, and the more we think that God isn't maybe there or angels aren't real. It's kind of get going to get going. Just did.
I had the camera out. This angel said, take a picture. It was so intense. It was so alive. The angel knew I could see it.
The angels want to drench us with their shimmering light.
So that was the trailer for the movie Illumined Ones. It's something that I was in. I highly recommend that you watch it. It will be available on Amazon and various places tomorrow. It's already available if you Google it, and I've probably got it on my Facebook page, on one of the pages somewhere. I am part of that. It was made by this woman that did not believe in angels, but was going through a very rough time in her life. A woman said, oh my gosh, you're the one that I've been looking for, and said, this woman wanted me to come find you. She has messages for you. And the Crystal who made this movie, who made this documentary, her story, not believing in angels, not trusting fully, but at her wit's end with everything that was happening in her life, followed this woman. and this woman told her the messages that her angels had for her. And those messages began to help her navigate and trust the world again and rebuild her life. And since then, she went on a quest to talk with those that have experiences with angels, believers, non-believers, to really build a resource. And it's a documentary, it's a movie, firsthand experiences of everyone that's in the movie. I'm a tiny little portion towards the end that gets to share quite extensively that they can be seen. I have pictures from when we didn't have digital cameras, when we had regular cameras, of pictures of angels. And I love that they want to communicate with you directly. You don't have to take my word for it. Start asking, start looking for the signs, asking for the signs, and let it go. Like, show me a sign that, and let them come to you. So are angels real? There are so many accounts of them now. There's never been a time frame on our planet that we were keeping records that there is not a mention of angels or spirits or jinn. Jinn meaning the source of genie, that there are things on the other side. Is how do we protect ourselves from evil? We bring in greater light, and we bring in the understanding that we're connected to everything. Again, more science. What happens to one unit of an organism once it makes contact happens to all of the ones that it made contact with. Let me share that more elegantly. They did science. This is quantum physicists took a molecule, put it next to a molecule, separated them out miles and miles away. What happened to the first molecule happened to this, the greatest distance that they could. So they would put a positive spin on it. Nothing, this was in isolation, would spin positively. They would put a negative spin on it. Again, it could not communicate in the seen world with this. It would spin negatively. Then they took that first molecule, cut it in half, and they placed it far away, the other half here, watched it, the same thing. What happened here happened here. Everything is connected. Science is showing this. What created you, the elements. We started with this video about how every part of us was forged light years away, hundreds and thousands of years ago. And at the same time, it's the elements that make up our bones, make up our blood. We know what happened there, what happens to that element, what started it, happens to everything else as well. There's so much science behind it, and I can't wait to continue to share it with you. When a brighter force comes into an area with evil, when love comes in, when praise and gratitude come in, the evil cannot stay in that energy. It transforms, it releases, and it continues to move forward on the scale of enlightenment, on that scale. And then the other part, we have, these are sponsors of ours, different sponsors, Vortex cards. They are sponsoring the trip to Egypt. This right here is another sponsor. I'm so excited. Soul Drops, there's Cosmos, there's Luna, there's the sun, all of these different plant elements helping awaken our senses within us. If you go to Egypt with us, you're going to do processes that will allow you to better understand the current world. We're going to do yoga. We're going to do basically bringing in the symbols and understanding what the symbols represent in science, what they represent in the emotional world, what they represent in the mental world, and what the spirit of that. We're gonna catch all of that. We're gonna be part of that, and our purpose for doing that. And please send me in emails at Dr. Sarah Larsen. Please make sure you're signed up for the newsletter, as we're going to continue to do as many broadcast communications as possible until we go to Egypt, because we are bringing in the energy of love thy neighbor as thyself, and love thyself as you love thy neighbor, as the predominant energy on our planet. Right now, more than ever, our ability to give and love ourselves and others will help us skillfully navigate all the resources that we've been given, so those that are in leadership now can catch the abundance vibration. There's more than enough for everyone. There isn't a they can catch our leaders, us being the leaders ourselves. Everyone can catch source abundance. The more you give, the more you will yourself have. And I'm going to open up the floor for questions. If you have any questions, and again, I want to thank Don Estes. Don Estes is sending technology that we'll be able to take to Egypt, so that we're able to tune our vibrations and our frequency. And if you're interested in this, we also have Chris Creasa, who's going with us. So if you want to make a video or a product as you're traveling with us to Egypt, and you'll have access to the boat, the Nile, you'll have access to various locations. We stay in the Mina House, which is a castle extraordinary. Muhammad Nazmi, Quest Tours, all of them make it possible so that the love that you want to express, or a product that you might want to make in video content format, we're going to help you be able to do that on this trip, on this journey. Just reach out to me and we'll answer any questions. Dr. Sarah at Dr. Sarah Larsen. And I'm going to open up the floor. If you raise your hand, I'm happy to answer any questions that I can. And so I'm going to go to chat, and I see there's 7 little notes in chat. Oh, it says, don't have a smartphone, but I did copy it and by hand. Let's see. We aren't able to see each other in the little boxes. I love you. Let's see if I can read to the top. I'm so grateful that you guys are here. I value you so much. Let's see, is it possible to get a copy of this chart on the screen now? It's on Facebook. It should be on my website, and I'm going to put copy of this chart, or I will put chart, and every one of the images or pictures on the screen I will make available in the next few days on my website. I'm going to be in Las Vegas speaking this next week. I'm going to be in Sedona as well. And I am doing a very big event, June 16th, the new moon of next year, if you want to know, and at group coaching. I do this because I know, and I'm seeing the effects. I believe if we can check each other out and see how far we can go together, you do not need a guide, you just need willingness. But it's really useful to have a mentor, a guide. I have several that are training me. One of my mentors is 3,200 years old and shares with us that everything that it's possible for us to live that long. There are many beings on our planet that are 3,200 plus years old. Dying, aging doesn't have to be. We can continue in this body. And so that's one. Then right now I have mentors that I'm learning from in Las Vegas, partly because I want to serve to the greatest degree possible. I'm learning about how to get sponsors so that I can create better and better content and have better and better resources to give to you guys. And this comes from my heart. I know we're one, so I'm getting more skilled in the areas that will help me be able to contribute more. I see 3 more messages down here. So 3,200-year-old mentor. I know I'm really, really grateful. It came in the forest. When I said it's named Native Son is how we relate, how I relate to him. I have a question regarding myself in Egypt. Is it appropriate for this call? So I think we are running a little bit at a time. Had a receipt with the total of 1111. Do you think that means anything? If so, what? The number world is communicating with us all the time. Numerology, all of that stuff is, so all the numbers, the things that the energy field can manipulate a lot easier is having you turn and look at the clock when it's 1111 or 111 or 222 or 333. If you get receipts and it seems random, but it adding up with the taxes and whatnot to be 1111, those are wake-up codes. Those are the angelic world. The everything in nature has a coding to it, has elements to it, has the ability to communicate with us. For those that are willing to see, everything is communicating moment to moment. The more present you become in yourself, the more you're able to receive that information. And so yes, 1111 is a wake-up code. It means really that you're different, stay open, and different things, notice what you're thinking about, different codes, different possibilities, different things are being awakened within you. 1111 really means you are now fully connecting at a higher frequency with the universe, with source, with God. And so, Disha, we can talk afterwards, because I think if you're asking the question if it's appropriate for this call, I'm going to just say, let's just talk afterwards and we can share it after. Let's see if any more questions came up or comments. I didn't see a hand go up anywhere. So I'm so glad that you guys were on this call. Oh, I see Avishag's hand went up. So we'll have, go ahead, Avishag. Hi, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Avishag, you're unmuted. So go ahead and unmute your end if you muted yourself.
It says I'm unmuted.
I can hear you. Okay, so awesome.
So in Kabbalah, they talk about how every thought or every action, there's an angel that takes it, and then there's dark angels and light angels. And I was just wondering if you could explain that a little bit more. Or
Sure, that's there, and that Trinity, that image that we showed that shows up in Luxor Temple. There's an image of that that shows up, and Kabbalah, the Tree of Life. All of that mentions a scale. It's either moving towards a light scale or it's moving towards a dark scale. There are dark angels, there are light angels. When we are in the energy of praise, in the energy of lightness, in the energy of bringing more organization forward, it's the light angels. And some define angels in that as thoughts of God. And it's believed that every blade of grass has an angel for it, gently saying to it, grow, grow, grow. And that angel that's saying grow, 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 when received, when a thought emerges and it connects to the angel saying grow, 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 that thought grows. The person who's having that thought moving towards the growth. And a good way to have all your thoughts move towards growth is to establish a purpose that allows you to serve more or give more through that thought. A blade of grass that grows taller and longer is able to produce more elements. It's able to take dirt and produce nourishment for those that might eat it. It's able to receive more sunshine and create chlorophyll and all of that. And that growth allows for a bigger purpose that the grass then becomes part of. So if you're having a thought and there are angels all around you, one of which is whispering in your ear, grow, grow, grow. And another one, a dark one, that says, don't be the last one. Judge this, compare it. A dark angel that's measuring or causing pain, not praise, causing fear. That's the light angel and the dark angel. The dark angel is causing you to not receive as much nourishment from the environment. And so when you catch a thought, the first process or step of that is to say, is this thought even from me? Did this originate from me? Or am I catching a universal thought that everyone is thinking around me? We are receiving thoughts as well as broadcasting thoughts. It's amazing when you see the studies on this, on how thoughts, we used to think thoughts were unique to an individual. We now know group thoughts, and we can see EEGs, EKGs, we can see in different camera type lenses what happens when we're all having the same thoughts, congruent thoughts, when we catch the dominant thought that was put into an environment but not told to anyone, how many people catch that thought. So that being said, whenever you get a thought, the first thing is to kind of question the thought. Is this my thought, or is this the thought of the environment? And then to look at that thought as, does this grow me? Does this cause me to love or create more growth, possibility, synergy? Or is this thought, if it's a dark thought, coming to me in order to give for me to become the light angel and bring it towards a conclusion? Everything can be useful if we know how to use it. And so if a dark thought comes in, and this is, I understand this from the inside out. I catch depressive thoughts a few days before something happens in the environment. So before the forest fires and the fires here, my being got sad. It could feel the energy of the land. And this goes into gorilla studies that there's a certain amount of gorillas in every gorilla society that's depressed. If the depressed gorillas are taken out of the society, that tribe of gorillas dies. Well, I am one of the gorillas that is sensitive and picks up and feels energy. So I will often pick it up beforehand. In the past, before I'd learned is this my thought, is this the environment, I would really internalize that and have a depressed, tearful, and I would look for things in my life to match that depressed level of emotion. Now that I know to separate out, is this thought me? Is this thought the environment? And if depressed energy is in the environment, and literally I can catch what's going to happen in the next few days, tune into that. And I believe we are at the level of co-creating reality together. So the Dalai Lama has someone that he co-creates the weather with. So my friend was with the Dalai Lama, sitting with the Dalai Lama, and someone comes in and says, this is the weatherman. He's giving the Dalai Lama, and he was thinking, oh, he's giving the report of the weather. And when they communicated back and forth, he said, no, we are going out. We need to create this particular kind of weather. And so the Dalai Lama going out, producing this weather, myself catching depression, catching the sadness that's going to be. Greg Braden and the studies of the land, you can measure the big events, like 9/11 was being measured at that time, and they could see what happened to the collective consciousness. It happened several days beforehand. Those that are sensitive to energy and to reading it will catch the thoughts first, and if they know what they're doing, can elevate and bring light and a lighter frequency to the environment so that it's loved. This is part of the reason we're going to Egypt. We want to bring the next layer of skilled love organization, love thy neighbor as yourself, to Egypt. Those that are catching the purpose of our trip are sponsoring our trip and helping make sure that we have the maximum resources to be able to do the work that will allow our spirit, our mental energy, our emotional energy, and our physical bodies to be able to hold and broadcast the most loving frequencies for our planet during this time frame that so much of the energy on our planet is excited, joy-filled, praying, expanded, connecting with each other. It's very purposeful to go there at this time to bring love, to bring higher intelligence, to bring better ways to everyone on our planet from this. And this can happen at any pyramid or any sacred space, but we catch the collective thinking and the collective thought. The elements, the angels, those are giving to us tools to grow ourselves, but we have to identify if this is our thought energy to grow, or it's the collective. And if it's a dark energy, a dark thought, a dark angel, it is our job, it doesn't matter where it came from, to ask for help and get more resources and to bring it to an area of praise, gratitude, love, higher vibrations, so it can reconstitute itself to give to all of us. Did that make sense?
Yes.
Oh, good. I get into very thorough answers, and I love to connect dots. So thank you for asking that question. And we're homeschoolers, and we have an education facilitator coming over today. So I'm going to run, for those of us that are in the Los Angeles area and catch this on time, December 7th, we're having an open house in Creative Chakra Spa, which is in Marina Del Rey. December 16th, we're doing another open house. It's an interfaith, and this interfaith has children, a choir that comes from all over the world, and it sings in multiple languages. And then January 21st, we are doing a hug-a-thon. We're going into the Guinness Book of World Records for people born in the most countries. At Agape, January 21st, we're going to do, it's the beginning of the Gandhi's Nonviolence Days Hug-a-thon. It's this tradition's been going on for 30 plus years. We're going to have the most amount of nationalities hugging, and the Guinness Book of World Records is showing up for that to count and help document it. So if it's possible for you to participate, December 7th today, December 16th, January 21st. Again, we're going to Egypt December 26th through January 9th. Your thoughts, your energy, there's only a couple spots left. You coming with us is ideal for us in energy form, in prayer form, in love form. We will bring that. So let us know. I love you, and I can't wait to see you again. Again, I'm going to be doing a daily broadcast somewhere. It'll either be on Facebook Live, or you'll get a note from me in Dr. Sarah's newsletter. So if you're signed up for the newsletter, you will be well informed. I love you until we see each other again. Bye for now.